Well, there we go. Looks like the sound's working. Oh, first off, I'm making some room here. I've reached a bit of a standstill on the Mario stuff because it seems like I'm missing a bunch of small parts. So, putting that aside for right now. I've had this Pikachu for a while. I had a little guy hiding under there. So I've had this Pikachu for a minute. Started it, stopped it, started it, stopped it a couple times. And it's just not working. The parts aren't moving how they're supposed to. So gonna do what I did with some other parts, some other things, and just start over. Take it all apart, see where I messed up. Given when I did start working on this a while ago, was just after I got hurt, and you know, the meds might have had something to do with it. And it was something small because I was either drugged up or in pain or both. Since pain meds don't do much to me. Let's see how I could have done this wrong, but I think it's going to be best just to completely start from the beginning again. So this won't really be much of a building um, stream as a destruction stream. I think it's best when it's not working, just start from the beginning. Something's wrong, you just can't figure out what. Means I messed something up somewhere. Hi. Oh yeah, you were on yesterday. Yeah, saw a little bit of your channel. Now today, I run into too many roadblocks in my Mario stuff. I have this Pikachu here that I had started probably a year or so ago. I was on Workman's Comp after getting tackled by a patient in the hospital I worked for. And I think I did something wrong with it because it does not move no matter what I do. Oh, yeah, your stuff looked pretty good. I just kind of skimmed through it. Ah, I forgot what your Lego channel was named, so I didn't look that up. Taking a few too many blows to the head over the years. My memory isn't what it should be. Just taking this Pikachu thing apart and starting from scratch. Okay, Legos with. Okay. Yeah, I'll find that. That's easy to remember, even for me. Yeah, this little Pikachu thing is supposed to move, and I got it basically done, and it doesn't move, and I can't figure out why. So I think it's best just to start over. My little one's been asking me for a minute to get the Pikachu working. Oh, yeah, yeah. Nice to have someone on, rather than just me talking to myself like a crazy person I am. Problem with me talking to myself is the person I'm talking to is an idiot. Now, the Mega Blocks things, they look nice, but they don't build. There's always something wrong with them whenever I get one. I don't know what it is. There's just something weird with them every time. And it gets really annoying because these things aren't cheap. And I spend the money on them because my little one wants it. And I enjoy building stuff with her. But I get annoyed at having something go wrong with it every time. But I figure it's been about a year and a half since I tried this thing. So I might as well just start it over. Because the little legs here are supposed to move, all four of them, and then this grass is supposed to move. And I just can never get it to work. There's just something blocking it from moving inside. So better just start from the first instruction again. And it's not like I don't have the free time. I spent all morning doing applications and trying to get information to the VA since for some reason they think I am on active duty right now. Went to the gym, so now I think I just need to think I've earned doing something fun. Dealing with the VA is never a fun thing. There's a joke in the military. The VA is giving us a second chance to die for our country. That is what it is. It's what it feels like sometimes. Especially now that they've been gutted. So anything since I end up rebuilding stuff a lot because I get ADD, I make little fan out of them and just push the last one down. Makes it a little easier to keep them. They take up less room. is what I think I was trying to say. And of course, I dropped one, of course. Organize them the best I can by color and type. And there goes another one flying. I got some pretty good distance with that one. Now, this Pikachu thing, it looks really neat, and I'm sure once I rebuild it this time, it'll work. But I had just gotten surgery on my ACL, and I was in pretty constant pain, so I'm sure I missed something when I was doing it. Oh, thanks you for the like. Yeah, the mega blocks seem a little more expensive. I mean, they do more. Like this one should be able to run, but it gets annoying that there's always something I miss somehow, or it just doesn't work as advertised. I mean, I'm glad that unlike back in the day, they're the same size. Back in the day, they were a completely different scale. Back when I was young and had hopes and dreams. But it's just annoying that I always end up with something wrong. I'm sure part of it is just me, but it can't be completely me since it's every time. And little one's obsessed with Pokemon, and its Mega Bloks has more Pokemon stuff than Lego. But as I understand, they're about to do something with it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's some that are. We have a bunch of them here just off camera that little one slowly builds that are the $5 and such that are going to eventually go into the city. There's especially some Christmas ones back there that were pretty cheap. I mean, now that they're the same scale, it's easier to deal with them. But back in the 80s and 90s, you know, they were fairly new. So they were still trying to fight each other out of the market, which is kind of silly. It's better if you work together, you both make money. But that was the 80s and 90s. It was all about corporate warfare, kind of literally in some cases. Corporate espionage was just the way society was back then. Yeah, hey, see you later. Thanks for stopping by. And I'll find your other channel here in a little while. Dido, ow! Get you're going to come apart whether you want to or not. It's going to happen, Pikachu. You will come apart. That one piece. I think so. There we go, Pikachu. Pikachu is falling to pieces. Pikachu is falling to pieces. Need like a backdrop here or something so I don't keep knocking things off the table. It's just better take everything completely apart, no matter how annoying this will be. Come on. I was thinking it has to come apart somehow. Maybe not. This may not come apart. Hope this isn't why it didn't work. I want to break it. I hope that wasn't the reason this whole thing didn't work, because I can't get that part apart no matter what I do. And I just don't want to break things more than I normally do. Usually one of the best things I am at doing is breaking things. I don't know why it did that. The computer started to go to sleep.
Here are some results.
Oh man, there's so much to take apart here. It's just best to start from scratch when things aren't working. No matter what I do, it's best to start from scratch. Come on. Hopefully, I can get this all taken apart and put back together before this weekend, but I'd be kind of surprised. This is a pretty big piece. There's a lot of parts here, and just taking them apart seems like it's going to take forever. And, getting them organized in any way that makes any sense whatsoever makes it is going to take a minute. I think today is Wednesday. Yeah. This is just a one of the haunches right here, and it's a lot of pieces. One by ones, there they are. Um, so many parts. All right. All right, next chunk that needs to get taken apart. So many little pieces. Ay, ow. So many little pieces here. Can't tell if this is two parts or one. It's two. I think it's time for some dark shadows. I'm putting on some sound. I'm taking apart a Pikachu right here that never quite worked. This is the Pikachu. It's supposed to run, but I could never get it working. So have to take Pikachu apart and start over because it just doesn't work. I did something wrong in here. It is a lot of pieces. I had gotten pretty much done when I was trying to um, test it, but it just wouldn't work. So I think it's best just to start over from the beginning because who knows why it's not working. So here I am starting over. Well, taking it apart so I can start over. But it's just kind of annoying. And there are just so many tiny little parts to start from scratch. But it's best to get it working. It's to do what I need to get it working since I have time. Oh, so many little pieces. So many little pieces. This Pikachu has a lot of tiny pieces in it. So many. Be easier to catch Pikachu in the real world. Ow. And take this thing apart. But, these Mega Bloks things are kind of expensive, so I want to get it working. And they're just so many tiny pieces. All right. Well, I'll get that later. I really need a little backdrop or something because I dropped so many things back there. It gets annoying after a little while. But keep doing this. I keep doing it. And then I forget about getting a backdrop. Backdrop, that's not the right word. Backboard is the right word. My little feather thing I do to keep so these things don't take up quite as much room when I'm having to rebuild. That's how often I've had to rebuild stuff lately. Since I now have room to actually build, I've been rebuilding things that have fallen apart since I haven't had room for stuff till recently. This one doesn't look like it's going to do the little feathering thing well. Nope. So I'm listening to Dark Shadows. Yeah, and the girls are going up to the old house. Dark Shadows was such a good show. The original Dark Shadows, not the remake from the 90s. So I'm working on a Mega Bloks Pikachu. I'm having to rebuild it because I could never get the thing working. So I take a chunk apart and then organize things here. And this can't have anything to do with why it doesn't work, so I'm going to leave the tail together. So this chunk, I'm sure, is wherever I went wrong when I built it the first time over a year ago. This has to be where the problem is. It's just really a pain getting this thing apart again. Yeah, so this little Pikachu is annoying, which I kind of think Pikachu is a little annoying. So, see, this is supposed to move also, because the four legs are supposed to all move. So start working on the major disassembly now. It is a pain, but it is what it is. Guess I can't say I'm not getting my money's worth out of building since I'm taking it apart and doing it again. Kind of get my double money out of it. It's one way to look at it. But it's annoying still. I kind of don't mind it because, well, I have the time to do it. You can only do applications for so long every day. You can only exercise for so long before I just go completely ADD from both tasks. So, you know, in part, taking this apart and rebuilding it, yeah, it's kind of worth it. If this thing had worked, well, it's the most people I've ever had, 5 people. That's kind of neat. If anyone liked to, and then dropped right back down to 2. I shouldn't have said anything, and then it probably would have stayed at 5. But if anyone would like to see any of my other stuff I have going on in this city, just say something. I don't mind grabbing something else and pulling it into the foreground. And I'm working on my little one and I are working on a whole proper city here. Eventually, I'm going to have a drawbridge right there that goes between those 2 tables. I can't do things backwards, it seems. And the train will go all the way around. Because right now, just in the background, you see the train. And, when I put the tracks down, it goes all the way to most of the circle, just not the whole circle. But that's getting the drawbridge working is a project for not right now, of course, when I have a job again. Wow, this thing takes a lot to take apart. But I'm gonna get there. Almost done with the top layer. Almost done with the top layer. Here we go with the second layer, where I could actually see the inner workings. And it's really neat design. But just really curious what I did wrong forever ago that it doesn't move like it's supposed to. I know after my ACL surgery, I wasn't the most with it, but still. Getting down to it now. Pretty soon I need to stop and just organize all these parts. But I at least want to get through the whole layer that's covering the mechanics before I stop. You know, these parts that fell out might have something to do with why it didn't work. Something tells me that. Not sure what. Not sure why. Some parts that weren't stuck in there the way they should probably has something to do with it not working. At least those weren't like, those parts weren't part of the mechanics of it. I mean, who knows what I did. And I was really out of it when I first started to build this. I mean, I do not recommend ACL surgery as a form of entertainment. The recovery is not fun. And here I am a year or so later, and it still hurts. Okay, let's organize this some. See, I do this little feathering thing because it makes it easier to get to things, and they take up, everything takes up a little less room. So you only got so much room on your build table, and you want things to be fairly easy to find when you start building. I usually don't. Of course, most people don't end up having to rebuild stuff the way I seem to lately, but I am still now getting stuff from being in boxes to out and usable. And there I go, just throwing stuff down on the floor again. I am very accomplished at throwing stuff on the floor. It seems to be one of my main skills lately. Too bad I can't get paid to throw stuff on the floor. That'd be a good job. References I can just show these streams and how much stuff I throw on the floor constantly. Maybe that's what I should name these streams, throwing shit on the floor, not building Legos. That is the majority of what I seem to be doing. It's just throwing stuff on the floor. I am very accomplished at it. Well, I'm getting there, getting things a little better, a little more together. Okay, where's my block of number twos? Wow, that sounded bad. A block of number twos. Thought I had a block of gray 1x2s, but I don't see them now. Boy, dyslexia and ADD, just, it's such a annoying combination. Because I swear, something was right in front of you 2 seconds ago, then you spend an hour looking for it, and it was right in front of you the whole time. And it was really annoying when I was on active duty. doing inventories. It's like, I know I put that down there just a minute ago. I guess it was all yellow 1x2s that I had because there's a ton of them right there. All right. All right, let's get these together. All right. Brown, gray, gray, dark gray, I guess. Because there's a couple different grays here. All right, next section. Why am I reaching in there? I need to take this apart. It's reaching into the box for some reason. And I'm going to break other things that don't need to get broken. That's all I need to do is break stuff that actually works. That's kind of the way I live my life, it seems. Maybe I should have been a Marine. They're a lot better at breaking stuff. Probably would be considered a genius in the Marine Corps. But I don't think I would have fit in with the Marine Corps. Like being on boats, for one thing. All right, come on. Hey, I'm doing all right. Sorry, I need to get better at looking at the chat. I hope you're doing good. And I'm just trying to get this apart without breaking things. So I don't know why this never worked. Glad you're doing all right. I don't know why this never worked correctly. This is the Mega Bloks Pikachu that's supposed to be running, and I could never get it to run. So figured it's best just to start from square one. I haven't messed with this probably a year or so. but my little one keeps asking me to try to get it working. So I run into a standstill with my Mario's because it's missing pieces, and yeah, I don't really have the money to do a part shipment. So here I am. I guess that's one piece. Working on this finally, so that's probably a good thing. And I'm finally working on something that's been sitting forever. Because all four of Pikachu's legs are supposed to move, but it never has. So, oh yeah, I love those. I really wanted to get the ones I really want to get are the no, I mean just about all Legos, but um the Lord of the Rings I think would fit well in our city here. That's mostly what we're focusing on right now is this whole city area. We yeah, there's sections blah 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 blah. There are sections of the city, and my little one is very determined to get the city built out. And I think it would work well with a section that is Lord of the Rings because there's that the Shire. Um, I thought I saw Mordor on there. The Balrog, but man, I'd love the Shire one. The Shire one looks really nice. Yeah, it is fun to make the table and get the get it decked out. It's crazy to think that in the 90s, Lego almost went bankrupt with how well they're doing now. Yeah, these old sets are getting pretty expensive, and Lego's doing what they can, from what I can see, to stop that inflation of the secondary market with the new stuff. Because I had looked at some, and the prices were crazy for new stuff on the secondary market. Um, Behind me, stage right in the background, or yeah, stage right is the gumball machine. I got it in the first drop, and I'd seen it. I can't get those out. I'd seen it in a secondary market for about twice the price I paid. That's just scalpers drive me crazy. I mean, get some profit, but too inflated is just wrong. Oh, good. Thank you for subbing, and thanks for subbing by. I I'm normally lately on around this time of the afternoon. I do job applications and some of my Army Reserve work in the mornings. Sometimes I'll get on for a little while, then I go exercise, and when I'm killing the afternoon after the gym, I usually come and build Legos. So please stop by. About why I'm doing this is to try to I guess talk to people. It's not the same, but you know, it's better than sitting around in an empty house doing absolutely nothing. Yeah, having the free time. You can have free time or money, and right now all I have is free time. But it is what it is. I'd love to have one of these sections be Mordor, not Mordor, but be Lord of the Rings section. Um, my little one has a lot of them um, laid out for like this is the Mario, going to be the Mario area. Over here, stage left is the Dreams area. Some of my Mario stuff is falling off. Here's the main Dreams building we have. Um, city city set propers are going to be over in this area. Um, I think she wants the stage right background to be the Friends area because there's a beach set she wants. We have over here the Red Rocket and Horizon Forbidden West. It's great to build these out, to build the tables, and or underneath me, I have a bunch of wires um, and my army computer because I'll come down here into the basement in the morning and check my army email. I mean, I'm in the middle of a fight with the VA right now because they think I'm on active duty because I did some extra orders a couple months ago to recertify my combat lifesaver courses. And they think I'm still on active duty from that week of training. So I'm in the middle of a fight with them right now for that. Lots of emails. So I come down here in the morning, do that stuff, and the blah 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 blah. I like coming down here and doing that stuff rather than upstairs because then it at least breaks up my day. It's cooler down here. I'm in the South. I'm in Georgia. It's like 98 degrees out there. So coming down here, I don't have to turn the air conditioner on as much. And I got a little fan over here. But having the free time here in the afternoon to work on this stuff is good. And then, my little one and I um get to, you know, play her little games with the Legos once they're built. I mean, she's only 8, so she's built some, but she prefers me to do the work and her to play. Uh, you gotta love it. I mean, it's just so cute for one thing, so it's not like I can argue. Oh yeah, I got some friends in upstate New York and in Canada, and they say it's pretty nice up there. I would trade with them any second. It's I'm big and furry and don't do well in the heat. When I was in Fort Lee for that combat lifesaver training. It was like 100 something in the shade, and we were dying. I would, God, I would so much prefer to be at North. So much prefer. Yeah. But because I do not do well in the heat. And the older I get, it seems like the worse I do in the heat. All right, puppies, you're in the way a little bit, puppies. Don't have one of those yet. I'm starting to get there. Two eyes, there they are. I would, my friends in Canada, I do a drawing group with online. They're starting to complain that it's getting chilly. I'm like, man, y'all don't complain about the cold. No, that's just not fair. Yeah, I do. I throw some videos on my channel from the games I'm playing. So my little one likes to watch the videos, but here, while I don't have a civilian job, doing this stuff with Lego, yeah, why not? It adds a little bit of social to me, so I'm not just sitting in this empty house, except for when little one is here. So when I talk about Legos with people, kind of no reason not to, since I'd just be sitting here building Legos anyway. Why not get on here and talk about it? And video what I'm doing. I'm sure I will never get the chance to monetize it, but it is what it is. If nothing else, yeah, it's kind of fun to do. And to remind myself that I'm not the only one out here that has these crazy Lego collections. Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice just to know that. I try not to. You at? Yeah, I'll understand in that. Fortunately, I might be too old to understand what that means. I hard to Sure, it's not hard to tell by the gray. I'm not a young man, which I do need to shave the gray off. It's My beard's getting a little too long. Oh, the Star Wars vehicle. Okay, yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, once we build out the city here some, and I make a little more room in some other part of the basement here, I want to get more. I want to get Star Wars stuff. But um, our first priority is the city. When do those fit? See, I like to do this little feathering with the parts so that they're easier to get to and take up less room. Because this is not the first piece that I've taken apart and start from scratch again, unfortunately. Because when I moved, my Legos kind of went everywhere. Yeah, and my little one isn't huge into Star Wars, so I don't really get those parts or those sets. Because really, right now, this is all about what she enjoys. Because I just enjoy building, but those will be eventual things I get. Wait, this Pikachu is so massive. Forget what part this was. This is part of the stomach, if I remember right. These yellows are so much yellow in place, it's going to burn out my retinas. Oh, yeah, I have a little girl. You can't tell by the dreams thing. Oh, you're having. Oy. Yeah, those first like 6 months or something. Luckily I was on active duty at the time, so I got 3 months off with paternity leave, and that really helped my at time wife, and I got to enjoy those first couple months with my little girl. Okay, that goes there. One of the best things we did was they ate a bunch of stews and things like that could go into a plastic bag in the freezer, and then just warmed them up. So there wasn't all the cooking from scratch, and we had that freezer full. I did so much cooking leading up to that. This mission, okay. Dealing with the VA, and they just finally sent me something saying they got some of my documents. Why they think I was on active duty. It was just a week. If they got something saying that I was on active duty, it had the dates on it. But yeah, that's what happens in bureaucracy. Just got to deal with it. It'd be a lot harder to deal with that issue if I had a job right now. So that's kind of a good thing. Piece of my fur was stuck in there. And I do love having a little girl because I enjoy the imagination games she does. I'm not a huge sports person, even though I'm a soldier. I'm not that kind of guy. I would have to learn a whole new thing if I had a boy that was into sports. Yeah, it's having a kid is amazing. I love every minute I get with my little girl. Fortunately, being a soldier means I'm divorced. It just goes hand in hand. And most of the jobs I've had through my life aren't stay-at-home jobs, so it just made more sense for her to spend more time with her mom. But I get her every chance I can, not just our planned weekends. Luckily, my ex is good at working with that. Yeah, that's my little one already knows that everything I have is hers at some point. To her mom's disgust, she is turning out to be a collector like I am. I'm I'm a geek. Given I mean, I even have tons of old army stuff around here, not just the normal geek stuff. Ugh. Collecting is fun. It's just an expensive hobby. And somewhere in my videos, I show a bunch of my other Lego stuff, not just the stuff that's down here. All right, Pikachu, you're almost all the way in pieces. Now, baby girl, yeah, collecting is just so freaking expensive. Baby girl does love playing her games with like the dreams section here and the um, city section. Now, this is from when I was little. It was a castle base, and a little girl has definitely made it her own. Hey, that thing's from the 80s. Almost. I'm getting there, Pikachu. You are almost all the way in pieces. You are almost all the way in pieces, Pikachu. Don't want to be in Pokeball, you're going to be in pieces. I don't think Dragon. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've seen that. I'd like to get it. We only have so much room on in this little city here, but she's always wanting more, of course. All right, so many little pieces, and another piece goes flying. Oh, I only had a couple bags left when I just realized that this wasn't acting the way it should. And then just out of frustration, I gave up. Uh, now, now's as good as time as any to start over and get it working. That's not a bad idea. If you can, if you can sell the stuff, not a bad idea at all. I've definitely seen a bunch of the completed ones, for sale over time. Because, a good chunk of the fun is just building them. The thing is, I wouldn't want to buy a completed one. Because I like thinking, you see it and you're like, I built that, I did that, but that's not for everybody. It's just not everyone cares about that. So if you can find a market for it, great thing. Hey, if I could think of something like that, I could do for some income. So much fur. I am made of fur. Wow, David hasn't been on Dark Shadows in a minute. I'm listening to the old Dark Shadows, and the boy hadn't been in any episode for probably like 10 episodes. And neither had his father. Hey, that's great. That's great to do. The collector geek in me just won't let me sell stuff. It's really an addiction, kind of. And some of my old Legos went missing. I would love for them to show back up. Ooh, Josette, the ghost. Yeah. My problem is I don't think there's anything I don't collect. It's really an addiction. I just love decorating with all my toys, and that was a real problem between my ex-wife and I. Is she didn't think toys were something to decorate with, but it is what it is. All right. I'm thinking all of these little things can stay in here for right now. Don't think any of these are going to be part of the inner workings of Pikachu. They really seem like to be grass and stuff like that. Boy, no tinsel. Ew, damn it. Man, this instruction is huge. So now starting to put it back together. 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. I would say it's this one. And I just dropped one of them on the ground. Two of them. All right. Let's get this started again. All right. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day. I'm usually on here in the afternoons lately. Two 2x6s. Hmm. Yeah. Well, that can't be. No. It says there's some different sized ones. Now, I think I'm going completely ADD right now, so I think I'll call it here for the evening. Get some other stuff done.